If there was a provider listing service that could guarantee that you would receive real ear measurement when they fit you with hearing aids, but that provider had to pay to be in that listing, would you still go to them? Hey guys, welcome back to the DrCliffAuD vlog. This is vlog number 318, and today I want to talk to you guys about the easiest way to find a hearing care professional who performs real ear measurement. But before I do me a huge favor, click the like button, really helps out the channel. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on, go ahead and do that as well. It's greatly appreciated. So over the past couple of weeks, I've been on a little bit of a roll. So it started off with me talking about a post that my friend and colleague Dr. Scott Frink made on his series called This Is Why We Do REMS, which is short for This Is Why We Do Real Ear Measurements. I basically shared a story about someone who had come into his clinic that had found him through one of my videos, and they were worried that they were not getting the full amount of benefit from their hearing aids. Lo and behold, after Dr. Frink did real ear measurement, he found out exactly why. If you want to check that video out, it's back there a couple weeks. Actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and link it down in the description for you. Well, last week I actually covered another topic involving real ear measurement, but this was all about real ear measurements being overrated. If you want to check that one out as well, I'll link that one in the description for you too. But today I want to talk about how to find a hearing care professional who performs real ear measurement if you were at all inspired by my videos over the last 2 weeks. But let me give you a little bit more foundational understanding here. So when I first started grad school, we're talking 2012, I very early in my training realized that real ear measurement was a critical component to optimal hearing care when you're being treated with hearing aids. Why is that? Well, this is the only way to verify that you're getting enough amplification from your hearing aids at very specific frequency ranges to overcome your hearing loss. If you do not get enough amplification from your hearing aids in the ranges that you need that amplification, then you are not going to hear better. On the other hand, if you get too much amplification in those frequency ranges, you're not going to hear very much better either. In fact, it will be uncomfortably loud. Now, the thing that disturbed me the most about learning about real ear measurement wasn't about the procedure itself. The thing that disturbed me was how few hearing care professionals actually use real ear measurement inside of their clinics. Now, I'm talking use real ear measurement. I'm not talking about they have the equipment sitting over there in the corner that has an inch of dust on it. I'm talking about actually brushing that dust off, putting probe microphone tubes inside of your ears along with your hearing aids, and running a verification measure to ensure that you're getting the right amount of amplification. Surveys show us that less than 30% of hearing care professionals perform real ear measurement regularly. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, that's probably because it's a very specific type of test that not everybody needs to run, and that is not true. Anybody who gets fit with hearing aids should have this verification measure performed. Now, there's a lot of arguments out there for and against real ear measurement, but something that you cannot argue against is the fact that there is a ton of research out there that shows that individuals who receive real ear measurement when they're having their hearing aids fit and programmed have better performance outcomes and have higher preference for their hearing aids. Now, let's just assume that you want to find one of these hearing care professionals who performs real ear measurement. Well, it's easier said than done, because remember, less than a third of hearing care professionals actually perform this procedure, and sometimes you can have nobody in a geographical area who does this procedure at all. This might lead you to the question, well, how do I find one of these providers then? Well, this is exactly what someone on Facebook posted. They basically said, how do I find a hearing aid provider that uses real ear measurement? Do I just have to call around? And honestly, this is what I initially recommended when I started making videos on real ear measurement back when I first started my YouTube channel. So I think it was 2017. I published a video called The Most Important Hearing Aid Video That You'll Ever Watch, or something along those lines. I'll go ahead and link that one for you guys as well. The whole purpose of that video was to educate you on what real ear measurement was, why it's so important, and if you're struggling with your hearing aids, you had better make sure that you get that procedure done. But my recommendation really early on was, well, you're probably just going to have to call around to different clinics and ask them if they perform real ear measurement. And you know what? You guys did that, because I received a ton of feedback over the course of the past, 7, 8, almost 9 years at this point, and that feedback still keeps coming in, because when I go and speak at professional conferences, one thing that happens is hearing care professionals come up to me and they say, hey, just wanted to let you know I started performing real ear measurement in my clinic and it was because of your videos. And I'm like, oh, really? Because I never really try to encourage hearing care professionals to do anything in my videos. I always talk to the individual who has hearing loss, and these providers will be like, well, that's exactly the point, because I had somebody call my office and say, do you guys perform real ear measurement? And when they said anything other than yes, the patient would hang up on them. And it happened so often that there's providers out there now who literally have the equipment and who perform real ear measurement regularly now because they were losing so many patients. Now that's great, but you can spend literally days calling clinic after clinic after clinic to try and find out if they perform real ear measurement. So first off, you kind of have to start with the front office person, and the front office person might be completely oblivious to the fact of if they have it or if they don't have the equipment. So if you end up calling a place, they will tell you either yes, we have it, no, we don't have it, or let me check to see if that's something that we have. Well, like I said, this can take you forever to do, and there's no guarantee that when they say, oh yes, we perform that measurement, that it actually happens. And I'll give you an example. So I have patients reach out to me all the time, basically giving me stories about they said that they went to a provider. That provider said that they did real ear measurement. When they get in and they're going to get their hearing aids fit and programmed, the provider said that they performed real ear measurement. Well, the patient knows that they did not receive real ear measurement. How do they know that? Well, because they've been watching my video content and they know what real ear measurement is. They know that they have to have probe microphone tubes placed inside of their ears. They know that they have to have a speaker in front of them that plays a calibrated signal, and then there's adjustments and targets that are matched on the computer screen in order to dial in the programming of their hearing aids. So if they do not have that procedure performed, they know. The point being is, even if you call around and the provider or the front office person says that they do perform real ear measurement, there is no guarantee that they actually do. And this is one of the primary reasons why I started the HearingUp Provider Network. So back in 2019, I was approached by a colleague who said, Cliff, you've got all these patients reaching out to you from across the country asking where they can go to find a hearing care professional that does things the way that you do it inside the clinic and the things that you talk about in your videos. But there's no good way for these individuals to find one of those providers. So he basically said, hey, why don't you start a network? You can vet these providers. You can make sure that they're actually doing the things that are necessary so you feel comfortable referring people to those clinics. And I'm like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. That individual who approached me with this idea was Dr. Amit Gasalia. He practices out in Woodland Hills, California. Great guy. He's become a really good friend of mine as well. But that concept that he proposed to me early in 2019, I was actually able to go through and develop over the course of the year. And by the time this new conference called AudBoss started in 2019, I was actually ready to launch the network. And when I did that, I basically launched it at the conference, had about, 100 hearing care professionals in attendance, and I think about 40 of those professionals signed up on the spot. Now, it wasn't just as easy as them signing up and paying a membership fee to be in the network, because every single person in the HearingUp network pays on either a monthly basis or an annual basis to be listed inside of the network, which helps to cover administrative costs of running the network and to continuously promote that network to individuals who have hearing loss. But I had 40 people initially sign up, but then the hard work actually started. I had to go through and vet every single one of these providers. In fact, to this day, I think we have probably 200 providers listed on the HearingUp network now. Every single one of those individuals has had to go through a vetting process that ends with an interview by me to make sure that I'm comfortable with them getting in the network, so I can be confident that they're actually following audiologic best practices, which includes real ear measurement. In fact, I don't know of any other way to have a higher level of confidence that the person that you're going to be seeing is going to be able and capable of performing real ear measurement when you get your hearing aids. Now, sure, this is not a comprehensive list of all the providers throughout the country that perform real ear measurement. It's just the easiest way to find one of those providers, right? Without you having to waste hours and hours calling around to different clinics. Now, one thing that you may not like about it is that these providers pay to be in the network. It is a membership fee. So everyone has to go through the vetting process first, and if I approve them and allow them into the network, that is when their membership dues start. But like I said, if you have issues with providers paying to be in the network, it's basically they're paying me to tell everyone that I know that they are doing these things that I'm talking about on my channel, namely real ear measurement and all of the other audiologic best practices. Now remember, real ear measurement is only one of many audiologic best practices. practices. So if you have a hearing care professional who does real ear measurement, but they do none of the other things, then you're probably not going to have a very good treatment outcome anyway. And that's exactly the reason why I switched the messaging on my YouTube channel away from real ear measurement to audiologic best practices, because let's face it, there's a lot of clinics out there that do real ear measurement, but they don't really know what they're doing with real ear measurement, or they think they know what they're doing and they don't, or they perform it and the outcomes are just not very good after they do it because they just don't have the level of expertise that is required to get a successful treatment outcome. But that's why I'm so confident in referring you to the HearingUp Network, because I've actually vetted these clinicians not just for real ear measurement, but a variety of other best practice procedures like speech and noise testing, test box measures, validation outcome measures, and recorded speech testing, like a whole variety of different best practices that are required for you to achieve high-level treatment success. So if you ask me, what's the easiest way to find a hearing care professional that performs real ear measurement and does it in a way that will get you the success that you're looking for? As easy as going to hearingup.com and finding a HearingUp Network member in your area. Like I said, every HearingUp member has been vetted and are committed to following comprehensive audiologic best practices, including real ear measurement, to make sure that you get the most out of the hearing aids that you wear. But I want to hear from you. Do you have an easier way to find a hearing care professional that actually performs real ear measurement? Or do you think that going to the HearingUp Network website is an easier way, even if those providers pay to be listed? Let me know down in the comment section, and I'll see you next week.